What's up, everybody? Flyer Live Podcast, episode 16. We are quickly climbing the ranks of golf podcast leaderboards in terms of episodes done. Good for us. We are a amateur golf podcast, amateur golf podcasters, but we talk about amateur golf. Right, Mitch?
We do.
Okay. We're both of those things, right? We're not very good at this podcasting thing yet. Your
A little bit.
computer's ass. I can't figure out these settings all the time. It's just a cluster for us. But one day we'll be good at this.
Right around episode 100. I think we'll be
100 is our day. I love that. I love that. Uh, yeah, anyways, yeah. So we talk about amateur golf. Because that's what we love to do. We are competitive amateur golfers, but we like to play for fun too. Competitive golf season coming up in Minnesota here. We got tournaments coming up. You and I are playing in a tournament to be named. I don't think we're supposed to be naming it yet, but to be named in a couple weeks here, I think. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, so that's what this podcast is about. If that's up your alley, feel free to give us a follow or a like or a subscribe on YouTube, all those good things. We're building up a community of amateur golfers to just kind of chat amateur golf and hang out with you guys because that's what we like to do. We are live on X and YouTube, so if you are there live with us, there's a chat box. I can see it, so feel free to drop a comment in there, say hello. We're gonna do a lot of complaining today. I feel like Mitch. So if you if you'd like to
it might be an event session.
if you'd like to complain with us, feel free to do that in the chat too. I'm happy to read all of those. And yeah. So Mitch, right before we hit start here, you went to a golf event today, and speaking of complaining, it sounds like you want to do some complaining right off the bat about golf etiquette. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I don't know if I would necessarily call it complaining. I guess I'm trying to gain a better understanding of these younger kids that are out playing.
All right.
So to tell you, there was a high school golf meet of 7 teams around the region that was playing at a course that's in a town I work in. Um, my boss's grandson is actually playing in it. He asked me if I wanted to come ride around with him. I'm like, sure, why not? Sounds like a good use of an hour and a half or so. So was just riding around with him for 9 holes, and I noticed just some really strange things about how they do things in a tournament. Now, it's good for the speed of the game, but in a competitive tournament, I don't know. It's just some of the stuff is odd. So one, they never play honors. So they just go, if you're ready, just go hit. They don't care.
Good.
Which again pays to play.
I hate honors, by the way.
You hate
I
it.
absolutely hate it.
But if somebody gets a birdie, you can't jump it, man.
I
You can't
do
jump
all the time.
it. You would.
I do 100%. If I get to the tee and I'm ready to go, I don't. If I was going to spoil something, I was going to say, if you make a really good score on the hole before, I'm probably still jumping on the tee box if I beat you there. So anyway, I do have current event to that reminded me of a current event to tell you about. That's fucking wild. But anyway, sorry to interrupt.
All right. No, that's perfect. So that was a little odd. The other thing was the way they do things on the green. So I actually watched one kid. One kid was about to putt, and the other kid just on the opposite side of the hole. I'm talking about 3 feet directly opposite side of the hole from where the kid was putting at. Was lining up his golf ball and then picked up his marker
Oh,
and like stood back as the kid is putting. So there's a ball on its way towards the hole, and if it misses, there's a chance it runs by and hits the other guy's ball.
oh no.
But so, I just don't know if that's super common these days because that's not how like I grew up playing the game competitive high school golf. It was very different. So if somebody's in the chat and you guys, if you coach anyone, chime in. Let me know. Like, am I being crazy or does that seem insane? Because I'm pretty sure with putting, there is a penalty for hitting another ball on the green, correct? Or am I making that up?
I believe so. Yeah.
And
At least it used to be for sure.
Right. And if there still is, who would that penalty be on? Is it the person putting or is it the person marking their ball?
It's a good question. I feel like it's the person that didn't mark their ball. That's what it
Okay.
feels like.
I want to get some clarification on that rule because it's I don't know why
Should I
that
Google
one
right
was
now?
the craziest thing and I was just like what is happening right now? Why are they doing that? Like let the kid putt and then line up your ball.
I'm
Are
Googling.
you googling this rule? Perfect. We need a verification on this. In
If
the
the
meantime,
player's ball is in motion, if the player's ball in motion hits another ball at rest on the putting green and both balls were on the putting green before the stroke, the player gets the general penalty. So
the
that's
player
the
that was
that's the
doing
one
the throw.
that sounds like that's the one that hit the ball.
Okay. So so this could have really screwed over the guy in his group by doing that.
Yeah,
If
I think
called
so,
it
yeah.
the one
Wait,
stroke penalty.
that's RNA. That came from the RNA. Hold on a second.
Okay. Gotta get the USGA rules. Every now and then they divert, but not too often.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The player that hit the ball gets the penalty. The ball that was struck just goes back to its original position.
Got it.
But that's only when both balls start on the green.
Right.
Obviously, we know the backstopping issue, and at least in the pros.
Mhm.
Okay,
Right.
well that's
So that kid would have got a penalty if it hit. And I mean, it wasn't super close, but he definitely hit it by the hole. So
close
there
enough.
was an option. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know. And me, I was talking to my boss and I was like, I would be yelling at the kid that was picking up his marker and putting his ball down. Like, what do you get out of my way?
Or I agree 100%.
And then
Also,
there's one more thing
okay,
before
go,
we go.
go.
There was somebody I saw on a par three. One kid was teeing off, and then the kid that was about to go after him was standing directly behind him, like in
Oh,
line
I
of sight.
hate
You're
that
standing here,
so
like right
much.
here. Yeah,
Oh,
that one was also weird. So there's just a couple of golf etiquette things that I don't know if kids are just different today and they don't care, or if they're being taught to not care. I don't know. I need somebody to chime in at some point and let me know what the hell that's about.
that
So,
is well, I have some clips to make, Mitch. We got a host of clips to be smashing on our social medias, which I'll get to
mhm.
hopefully soon here. I will clip that and we will post it and have the Twitter universe comment on
Twitter
it.
knows best.
Uh,
I trust Twitter.
yeah, yeah, say. Uh, the putting the putting the ball down before somebody else is done putting thing. I'm very guilty of doing that. Not in competition though, just like out for fun. Just because I know I play relatively slow. I'm not super slow, but I know I play relatively slow, so I try and do other things to try and keep up a little faster. So I will, on a lot of occasions when somebody else is putting, I will be putting my ball down and like getting ready to prepare my putt while somebody else is already like the ball is in motion or somebody else is doing their motion. Like, or I'm guilty of that in regular events. In competition, all bets are up there. I'm staying away and I'm
Mhm.
not risking that, but I am guilty of that. So
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Casual rounds are completely different. You're out just having fun. Nobody really cares that much. Every now and then you're into somebody who really cares, but for the most part,
yeah,
but yeah, competition is a different beast. And being that this was a 7 team tournament, it's like seems odd to be doing things in certain ways.
yeah. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, one way or another.
We'll clip it and we'll find we'll get it from Twitter if we're not gonna get it here.
Love it.
So I have current events news, Mitch. One of my very good friends who I play most of my golf with played yesterday without me, of course. He I saw the notification they finished their round because we use the same scoring app. I
Mhm.
was just kind of perusing the scorecard, and I scroll by and I see he makes an eagle on the third or fourth hole or something like that. I'm like, hell yeah, Lee, Eagles, baby. And then
Right?
I kept scrolling, and I saw, Mitch, a fucking albatross.
An albatross.
This
Let's
man
go.
in 9 holes, I think, beaten in 9 holes, like between holes, made an eagle and an albatross. That is nuts.
That's a hell of a day. It doesn't even matter. You could triple bogey every other hole and would not care, not even a
Right.
little.
This is how humble he is, by the way. So I text him right away and I'm like, dude, what the like that is nearly impossible to do. Like making one eagle in a round, especially for us fucking idiots that suck at golf, is super good. But an eagle and then an albatross, which is ungodly impossible to do, it's like that's the coolest fucking thing ever. And then of course he's like, I'm not gonna give away a score. I don't know if I want me to do that, but the first thing he says, well, yeah, I still shot X score, which was if you're 5 under through if you're 5 under through 2 holes, it's probably a score that is not as good as you would think. But to
Mhm.
be fair, if that's me, and that will never happen to me, probably. If that's me, when that albatross goes in, I may have so many beers, I might not be able to swing a club by the time I get to the last hole. So
Already done.
my score is probably going to be ass too. So anyways, I had to give a shout out to my friend Lee who did something crazy, crazy, crazy impossible. Eagle and an albatross in one round. Not so. Congrats to Lee. Good job to him.
Yeah, great work, dude.
Yeah. So Mitch, Lee's really good at golf as of yesterday, so good for him. How's your game going?
So it's not.
Should we start
We could start
our
complaining.
therapy session?
Yeah, sure. Let's do this.
How's your
So
game looking?
it's not. I don't think it's as bad as what it is in my head, but there's just so many parts. Like our last podcast last week came out. I was talking about how great I was striking the ball. It was awesome. It was like hitting all these greens, like 65, 70% greens in regulation, stuffing it to inside 10 feet quite frequently, not being able to make putts. Then I went and played Saturday, and I had zero control over the club face. Absolutely none.
Nice.
I was flaring drivers 50 yards left, 50 yards right. Um, I hit a 4 iron. I had the face so damn closed down that it got about 6 inches off the ground and went 90 yards. And I had 200 yards into a par four that is 300 yards long. That was kind of just the end of my day, and I was done. I couldn't do anymore. I'm like, I don't want to play golf right now. It was just ugly. One of those shots where you feel it in your hands and you know it's just awful,
Oh
just
yeah.
terrible.
That's
So
that's how
that's
my
about it.
entire golf has felt. So
Yeah. Again, so to be fair, I still shot an 84 that day, which isn't the worst score I've ever shot in my life, and some people would be extremely happy with an 84.
some
But
people would.
yeah, there's different levels to this game, and it was more of a less of a score issue and more of a ball striking issue. Like sometimes I can deal with some poor scores if I hit the ball well, but if I'm
Sure.
not hitting the ball well, it does something to my brain and it breaks me.
I may have jinxed you. I don't believe in jinxes. If you believe in jinxes, then I may have jinxed you. Because last week when you were
Jinxes are
talking,
real, man. Jinxes are real.
jinxes are not real, but
Lies.
uh last week when you were talking about your ball striking being awesome and your putting being pretty bad, I believe I said something along the lines of it'll come back to the normal, so you'll probably ball strike it worse and you'll putt a little better. So I think it sounds like the ball striking thing came back to planet
Yep.
Earth a little bit.
Yep. Because then I had 29 putts instead of 35.
Hey, see,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. That's
yeah,
why I shot an 84 and not a 94.
boy,
Oh yeah.
my
It was
last 2 rounds, I had 94. I thought was in play both times I played. So the driver, Mitch, still a big problem. Big problem. Played.
what's you got the poles still?
Oh yeah, and I can't fix them. I also haven't had time to go to the driving range to try and fix them, which
That's
is number one priority before we go on our secret trip that maybe isn't secret, but I think it might be secret still. Um Yeah. So I also played Saturday as well. Played on another course that was more wide open, so not as many penalties as the last round I talked about. But here's the problem with playing on more wide open courses in Minnesota. Almost all the fairways, you have the fairways that are whatever 50, 40, 50 yards wide or whatever. Then you got a little patch of rough, small patch of rough usually, then a fucking line of trees on both sides, and then a patch of rough on the opposite sides, and then fairways.
Hmm.
So my
You can
driver
hammer it out
Mitch,
there.
what's that?
You can just hammer it out there then.
Well, you would think, but here's the problem. My driver is bad enough where I can't keep it between the tree lines, which are 70, 80 yards apart, probably. But it's not so bad that it's missing 100 left to right. So I'm not making it into the other fairways. What I'm
Hmm.
doing is it's just bad enough to be underneath the tree every time. Usually on the left side, but Saturday was a couple times on the right as well. So I spent most of my day, Mitch, just hitting 5 irons underneath trees.
Hey, what we call that? We call that, working on the punch shot, working on compression.
Yes.
Just it's a different type of practice.
I'm really good at 4 irons and 5 irons underneath trees. Really, really good at that now. I wish I didn't need to be good at that, but uh, yeah. So
I was at a young age, I was forced to get very good at that because, like a lot of young kids, sprayed it straight right, big old slice. And every course we play on, growing up in rural Minnesota, is 9-hole courses lined with trees, built on farm fields like that. That's
yep,
just what these courses are. So you got to know how to hit it under a tree, and you got to know how to hit it over trees.
exactly.
And I got good at those. It was the regular shots I didn't get good at.
Yeah, yeah. Same. That's exactly. I have no way. I actually on course. I'm actually ball striking the ball good when I can have a chance at it. But I don't know if it's actually good or if I'm just kind of getting lucky good because I only do it a couple times around. Because most of the
Mhm.
time I'm just punching shots. So the driver is just such a problem. And you really don't want to like try and do things on the course that would like really mess up your swing because then that's like a big mental mind fuck. So it's like trying to like really exaggerate a back something in your backswing or really exaggerate something else. You don't want to do that while you're playing. You should, like we mentioned before, have feels and things to kind of help get things back on track, which I thought I did and apparently I don't. Another thing we have to work on at the driving range. But you really don't want to like super exaggerate things. And I was so desperate to the point where I was doing that. Where I was just
Big
yeah,
exaggeration.
just taking
Oh,
the most because and it, lots of problems going on, but just taking like the most wildly weird backswings and changing my stance and doing all types of stuff just to figure out if I could get it to do something else and nothing. Just they're going far, which is great, but and that's probably because they're going left, so they're going farther.
mhm.
Science, but it's amazing that everything I've tried the last 2 rounds, actually, well, really all 3 rounds I've played so far, I just got lucky in the first one that every ball I hit was actually bad enough to be far enough to be in the other fairways.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, just everything just dead left, can't figure it out. And then I put iron in my hand and it's or a wedge and it's hit it good. And who knows what happens with the putter? I'm just bad putting in general, which we don't practice, so that doesn't matter.
Yep.
But oof, man, the driver is a problem. I should put it on. You know what I should do?
You
Just
should
to
buy a new driver. The
yeah,
the only solution to bad driving is to buy a new driver.
there
Everyone knows that.
there are two solutions. Two solutions. One, correct, buy a new driver, which I would love to do. I really love. Side note, the Callaway, the Smoke AI. That thing
Mhm.
looks sweet. I don't know if it'll help me at all, but it'll make me look way cooler. So maybe
That's
that.
part of what you buy drivers for,
That's
to be honest.
for sure.
It
Yeah,
has to look cool. Yeah.
yeah. Look good, play good.
Yep.
Uh, the second option, Mitch, is to go to the driving range for 5 to 10 swings total. That's it. You don't take any more than 5 to 10. You put a camera behind you and you take a video, and you take the best swing, and then you post it to Twitter and say, "Help, my swing sucks," and then see what happens. That I think that's where I head next. Just
That's what
to
I would do.
just to really tilt myself off the planet. Just just to hear what all the keyboard warriors are gonna say about what I should change in my swing, and I know I'll just watch it myself on camera and I'll probably figure it out. But just to see
I
all the
love
nonsense, oh man, it's my favorite. Speaking of that, we are gonna eventually here. We are gonna do that with somebody. Uh,
yes.
we'll do that. We'll do
Later.
that in a little bit though.
Yeah, but I love doing. I love posting the swing on Twitter, asking for advice, because you get some of the most nonsense things, and I'm like, does that part matter? Like I've had people say that I come over the top, which I do a little bit, but
Yep.
it's like the club face is square. But what I love most is when Ryan Moke shows up in the comments and
Yes.
he just starts posting back, and he's like, "But what's causing that? What's doing that?
Yeah.
Is that actually a bad thing?" Like he just starts hammering people, asking questions.
Yeah.
He's not even trying to be mean. He's just asking questions, and it's just
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
And
Love it.
he does make me laugh when he does that. And he's right though too, because a lot of the old school things that people were taught and told are they are not things to fix. They are things that are the result of something else that needs to be fixed usually. For example, the biggest example of that is early extension, which isn't really a problem in itself. Early extension in most cases is actually trying to help you fix something else.
Mhm.
So every time, if I post my swing, I'll get a handful of people that say, "Oh, you're early extending, rotate more or whatever," because I early extend like none other. Um, so it's my favorite when people go, "Oh, you're early extending, you got to fix that," and then yeah, Ryan pops in and he's like, "Well, what's causing the early extension?" Because the early extension
He's not
isn't
turning enough. Yeah.
early extension isn't the issue. It's something else. A lot of times, it's something else in the backswing that's forcing you to early extend in the downswing. But yeah, I love posting the swing to Twitter and getting the feedback. You know what? I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Do it.
I'm
Well,
gonna I'm
and then
going
the
to
question
driving range at lunch. Look for my swing at lunchtime tomorrow.
deal. But then the question with some of that is, is early extension even a bad thing? Like if it's helping somebody make proper contact, and the key here, and I wrote a post about this for my Substack today and posted it. Um, the key to the swing your swing. So if you're early extending, does it really matter? The only question that you have to answer is, can you do that swing repeatedly and consistently? And are you getting the result that you want? If you're getting the
For sure.
result that you want and you can do the movement repeatedly, then you don't necessarily need to change anything. It could just be a practice thing or something along those lines. But the key here is, if you are not getting the results that you want, then you need to consider changing something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Exactly.
if you're happy with spraying the ball around and shooting 100, by all means,
Fine.
keep doing
Yeah.
that. But if you
Yeah. Yeah.
want to get better, you may have to make some changes, but not necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah. And there, by the way, there's plenty of examples of elite pro tours, especially old school pro.
Jack Nicklaus,
Yeah.
early,
Yes.
like crazy.
Big early extender. Yeah. So yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's usually just fixing something else that's bad. So yeah, I love going through the swings and seeing people be, "Oh, you early extend." It's like, yeah, well, no shit. Of course I do. Uh, our friend Dan is here. He
What's
got
up,
us
Dan?
these hats, by the way. Look at these. Don't look at my hair though. The hair is a fucking problem right now, Mitch. The hair is a
You got two
problem.
kids now. You don't have to worry
That
about hair
is
anymore.
that is the pro time is a problem now, which is a problem with practice as well. Yeah, that's also a problem with trying to get haircuts. So,
Well,
anyways,
maybe we should talk about practice a little bit because both of us are sitting here bitching about our games
and we don't practice.
and,
Yeah.
and we don't practice. And I wanted to point this out because I think in my post last week or whenever it was that I was bitching about my game, I mentioned in there that a lot of times when my ball striking starts to get weary and I'm starting to spray the ball, it's because I've been playing way more than I've been practicing, like other than just going to the driving range and warming up. But I'm not spending enough time just making sure my alignment is right, making sure my grip is right, and doing some stuff just to get a better awareness of my face control and working on my takeaway, my backswing position a little bit. But if I'm not doing those things at least once or twice a week to try to just hone in those couple of things, and I'm playing a lot, like 4 or 5 times a week. I mean, depending on what I got going on that week. Sometimes it's only twice a week, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'll start losing it. I'll revert back to what I was doing before because I'm not focusing on the little things to get me in the right position.
Yep. Yep. I don't. Uh, I don't understand how people play golf after just never practicing or never doing, and then just shoot unbelievably good scores. If I don't practice
Yeah.
or play, usually practice. I'm the same with you. If I play a lot and I'm not actively practicing on the range things, I will just end up losing it at some point. It'll be bad. I'm very similar to you. It's crazy town to me. There's people that can go out. It's like riding a bike to them. They can just go the whole winter, not swing a club, pick up a club, and shoot 65. It's like I don't even know how to swing. I literally forget how to swing.
Same.
Oh,
See, our
hey,
problem
were
our
we gonna
problem is
ask
loft.
what was that?
Our problem is loft, just lack of fucking talent.
Yes,
That's what
there
we
you
got.
go. That's you know what?
Other people got lots of talent, but we do not.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. We were gonna ask Dan a question about something, weren't we? Oh, were we gonna ask him about the rules, or did we figure
Yeah,
out the
Dan,
rule?
Dan coaches, right? He coaches
I
kids, doesn't
I
he?
think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We were talking about golf etiquette at the start of this. Like high school golf kids and their etiquette is just very poor. So if Dan knows if something has changed since when we were kids, 15, 20 years ago to today, and why certain things aren't done anymore. Like, you stand directly in the eye line of somebody while they're hitting, like directly behind them. I don't know. Just something I'm very curious about if that's normal or if that was just happening today while I was watching that tournament. Be fascinating.
And then also, if you can clarify a rule for us, we're interested in this rule. I think we got the right answer, but who knows if Google's right.
Mhm.
Uh, Mitch watched a kid that was close to the hole. His ball was marked, and I hope I'm getting this right. His ball was marked. He put the ball back down and picked up his mark while another kid's putt was rolling, and this other kid's putt could have rolled by the hole and hit his ball. Did we look this up right? And that would have been a penalty on the kid that putted the ball. Is that right? It's a little bit of
Sure.
delay, so he'll answer and we'll get back to it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Uh, have we done enough complaining about our games?
I
What's
think nobody
Mitch?
wants to listen to us bitch about our
What
games.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna spice it up and make it a little happier in here. Give me your number one favorite part about your golf game right now that you would love to brag to everybody about. Whatever. It could be anything. It could be your scripting. It could be how good your outfits are. Number
Oh, no,
one thing.
I'm terrible at that, dude. No, that's so bad.
Me
I,
too.
I
I don't
don't care
match
about
really either. I
I don't
try
care
my
about
hardest to
at
match, but
all. Never been a fashion guy. Probably will never be a fashion guy. I own like 15 polos and I just circulate through them. But but no, the best thing about my game right now I would have to say is probably my 80 to 100-ish yard game, maybe 70 to 80 yard wedges. I have been stuffing so many wedges. Like my distance control right now has been very good. Actually, I think my distance control with almost all of my irons have been good. My face control has been piss poor. But from like 100 to 70 yards, my face control and distance control has been very good, which has led to me having a lot of birdie opportunities inside of 15 to 10-ish feet, sometimes closer. Every now and then I'll get a tap in where I don't really have to worry about putting, and that's great. I love those because I'm a terrible putter and I make maybe 10% of my putts from 10 feet. So outside of that, but my wedges are good.
All right, good, good. You managed to say something good and bad at the same time. That sounds a lot like something I would do.
That's golf, dude.
Dan says it's not the best with how players act. I do think things have changed with how they're taught on the golf course. It's not just high schoolers though, newish golfers, which we have mentioned this probably a handful of times in the past. Uh, all the new golfers that came in around COVID time have really, really messed things up.
There's zero golf etiquette for
Which
many
is
people.
which is why you and I are firmly on team shrink the game, not grow the game. We don't need to grow it anymore. It's fine where it is. You know
If you
what?
can't get tee times when you call like the day before, it's grown too much.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so here's my issue today. I'm trying to play on Sunday, and me and Lee. I'm you know what? I'm not even sure I want to play golf with Lee anymore.
I
I don't know if I
wouldn't.
can handle playing with somebody that makes an eagle and an albatross in the same round, and I
You
didn't even
didn't
get to
this
witness
far.
it. He's too good for me now. But anyway, so I'm trying to play Sunday, and we're trying to book a tee time, and there are like zero tee times open for Sunday after or before like 3 o'clock. So this is in it's today Thursday. It's
Yeah,
3 days from now, but it was probably the same yesterday. So, uh,
too many people.
it's such a pain. Dan says it's more that they haven't been shown what's proper. Proper makes it sound fancy. Lee's in the chat as well. He says hi. Lee, we've given you 2 shout outs now about your albatross. And also I'm done playing golf with you now.
And also, proper isn't that fancy. You can do
Proper
things
is not that
properly.
fancy, yeah.
It's just like simple little things that you can do.
Yeah. I just really wish there was I think early in one of our earlier episodes I brought this up. I really think there should be a card that us golfers have to carry that says we took a class on etiquette, we took a class on course, like keeping up the course, took classes on all the stuff that matters to make pace of play. So we've been taught all those things, and you aren't allowed to play on a golf course until you can show you have the card that says you took those classes. I really think that is a thing that should happen. I'm pretty sure there's other countries that already do that. So,
Good. Bring it here and then get rid of everybody who doesn't pass.
yes, exactly, exactly.
Like, and like, okay, so I'll make a quick point about that.
Okay.
Is I don't know what like a passing grade would be. Like I would be fine if they get half of the things correct because just going through the class and like taking a test on it shows that you care enough to try to learn to be a better person on the golf course.
Yes.
And I think that's a huge step.
I don't even think there needs to be like a test or anything. I don't think you need I don't I don't think you need to like run a an ABCD test through the scanner and make sure you get like 75. I think you just have to literally take the courses just to show that like that information has gone to your brain at some point, because I think that is a lot of the problem is a lot of people just that information has just never been fed to them before,
That's
like
true.
fixing a ball mark on the green. I think there are people that just don't understand that that's a thing you're supposed to do because nobody's ever told them to do it. I really think that.
I would believe that. I firmly believe that most
or
people,
fixing divots and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, most people don't do things to be malicious. It's just because they just don't know.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. There are the stories you hear about the people that are driving their golf carts through bunkers and stuff, and then those guys just should be sent to Mars and never invited back. But
Yeah,
if,
that's
I
just fair.
think, yeah, I think for the most part, people are mostly just clueless. They don't have the information that they need, which is
Mhm.
which is why I think the class would be important.
And
Um,
again, this comes back to I think we made this point before on here, and I know I've made it on Twitter that the pace of play, but it also applies here is yes, you paid to be there to play, but it's also a shared space that everyone else has paid to be there as well. So you need to be respectful of the course and the time because everybody else is expecting that as well.
yeah,
So and there's just not enough expectations of that. So people just assume it becomes a selfish thing where I paid, I don't have to do this. Like I can take my time, I can play a 5 hour round. It's no, like we can speed it up because everybody else's time matters too.
for sure. Yep, I 100% agree. Dan says ball mark on the green. Or I think we're triggering Dan a little bit. Uh,
Good, good, good.
Ball mark on the green isn't because they don't know. He sees it daily. It's maddening.
How do
Yeah,
they
I think I don't disagree. I think there are definitely people that don't know, but then yeah, there are also people that either
Mhm.
don't want to, or they're trying to rush and forget, or they're like me sometimes and they just have a bad brain and forget.
Sometimes
Um,
I just can't find them.
that is an issue, especially early on here in Minnesota. The last 3 rounds I played, I'll hit balls on the green. I haven't hit many on the green, but I'll hit balls on the green and I'll search around forever where I think the ball landed and there's just nothing there.
Mhm.
Um, I do my best to, because I know I miss them sometimes. When I do it, I try and get like 3 or 4 at a time. So,
Yeah, get 3 or 4.
um,
Take care of the course. Course takes care of you. Everyone knows that rule.
100%. Do we want to
Should we go? Should we go to the swing?
yeah,
And
I was just thinking the same thing. Should we pull up the swing here? We weren't
let's-
tagged in this, right? I think you just commented on this guy's thing. Is that
yeah, I
right?
just kind of I was scrolling Twitter and I saw him asked to have his swing roasted, and I was like, we should do that because we tried to do that early on, but we only got like one swing and we're terrible at roasting. But what we're
Uh
gonna do?
uh-oh. Hold on. I
Oh
fucked something
no,
up. Uh-oh. I
no,
fucked something up. We're back. We're back. Hold on.
are you
We're back.
crashing? Oh no,
We're back, I think. Uh-oh. Oh no. Uh-oh. Where are we?
no, are we? Are
Uh-oh.
we live?
Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. Found it.
Wait, we're back.
No, we were
Did
here
we,
the
did we ever leave?
we were here the whole time. I fucked up the screen a little bit. We're fine. We're good. We're here.
Okay, good, good.
Hold on. Let me see if this is gonna work. Nope, it's not. God, unbelievable.
Are we not
Uh,
going to be able to pull it up to show everyone?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Here, let me try this. We did that. There we go. Okay, here we go.
We are here now.
Yes, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, we are good at podcasting. People are engaged.
I did
So,
say at the beginning of this, we both have our own issues. This is an issue of mine that I can't. I get the screens fucked up all the time.
I
Okay.
said by episode 100, we'll have this down.
Dan says early extension is a bad. Yes, agreed. It is a result of another problem, usually. Okay, let's watch Colby Krager's swing here. He said, "Who wants to roast this swing?" And Mitch said, "Let's roast it." And we watched it, and you'll also watch it. And there's no reason to roast it because it's really fucking good. And then we have
It,
a
it, it's unfairly good.
yeah,
It,
exactly. So we're gonna watch it, and then And then we have a surprise. Mitch has a surprise. If I can find it, here we go.
All right.
Slow motion too, of course, because that's what we need on this swing.
Perfect arm structure. Love it at the
No
top.
early extension, of course. Why would there be?
Well, no, I mean his name is Mid Am Chaser. How do you become a Mid Am Chaser with early extension?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's such a good swing.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway, so we are terrible at roasting.
yeah, hell yeah, we
Really,
are.
and it's really difficult to roast a swing that is actually good. So I just plugged it into Grok. I was like, "Hey Grok, roast the swing for me and be ruthless."
Yes,
So,
I'm gonna I'm gonna
so
put my mic on mute because I read it and it some of it made me laugh, and I also don't want to interrupt you. So you could take it
all
away.
right. So Grok says, first off, let's talk about your stance. It's narrower than a tightrope walker's margin for error. You look like you're trying to balance on a skateboard while swinging a club. That narrow base is begging for inconsistency. I'm not going to read some of this just because it's like, well, no, never mind. We'll keep going.
Yeah, let it rip.
From Gear Sports emphasizes that a solid setup is crucial for clean ball contact, and your foundation here is shakier than a house of cards in a windstorm. You're setting yourself up for a wild ride before you even start the swing. Widen that stance, my friend, unless you're aiming to topple over mid shot. But wait, there's more. Next, your posture is giving me serious Hunchback of Driving Range vibes. Thanks, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Appreciate you. You're so hunched over that I'm worried you're trying to inspect the grass for bugs instead of hitting the ball. Look at your shadow. It's screaming for help. From Swing Loose Golf mentions that from improper setup can lead to a cascade of swing errors, and your rounded shoulders are probably rolling faster than a tumbleweed in Desert Storm. Stand taller, chest out, and stop looking like you're about to propose to the tee box. Damn, okay, to be fair, I want to marry golf too. Golf is awesome,
Yeah,
and I want to be a part of it
that's
forever.
fair.
Hey, continuing. Now, let's get to the swing itself. Your takeaway looks like it's on a mission to hug the inside line tighter than a clingy koala. From Reddit highlights that an overly inside takeaway can lead to a slice or a baby fade on a good day. And I'd bet my circuits you're fighting that exact issue. You're starting your swing like you're trying to wrap the club around your body. Newsflash, this isn't a yoga class. Push that club head more outside the line on the takeaway, or you'll keep slicing balls so hard they'll end up in the next county. Damn, that's a big slice. Your weight distribution is another disaster waiting to happen. You're leaning so far back on your heels that I'm surprised you haven't fallen backward yet. WebID stresses that your hips should lead the swing with your belt buckle reaching the target before your hands. Right now, your hips are so far back, they're probably still in last week. Shift that weight forward, get those hips moving toward the target, or you'll keep hitting shots thinner than a piece of paper. This is really long. Damn. And what and
It's-
what and what's with the grip? I can't see it clearly, but based on how awkward your arms look, I'm guessing you're holding that club like it's a live snake. The web mentions that rotation and swing sequence are critical, and a bad grip can throw everything off. If your grip is as weak as your stance looks, no wonder your swing is screaming for help. Get a proper grip, neutral, not too tight, or you'll keep spraying shots like a broken sprinkler. Finally, let's talk about your follow through, or lack thereof. The image catches you mid swing, but I can already tell you're not finishing like a pro. Dude, that's a shot. Like, Brock is coming after him. Your body looks so tense that I bet you step your swing halfway, that you stop your swing halfway, leaving the club dangling like a sad flag on a windless day. Golf is about flow, not freezing up like a deer in headlights. WebID suggests slowing down your transition to 60 to 80% speed to fix over the top moves. And I'd add that you need to let that swing finish naturally Extend those arms, rotate through, and pose like you mean it. Don't just stand there like a statue. In summary, mid-am chaser, Colby Krieger, your swing is a hot mess of narrow stance, hunchback posture, inside takeaway, poor weight distribution, and what I'm guessing is a grip that's more questionable than a used car salesman. Okay. You've got some serious work to do. Start with the basics, widen that stance, fix your posture, and stop taking the club so far inside you're practically hugging yourself. The web suggests drills like focusing on hip rotation, and I recommend practicing in front of a mirror to avoid looking like a golfing gremlin. Keep at it, but right now, your swing is less pro golfer and more pro gardener. You're digging more dirt than you're hitting balls.
Very good.
All right, Grok. All right. Like, Grok had stuff to say.
He did. He did. I don't know how accurate any of that was. I'm guessing Grog didn't
I don't
actually get
think
to
much of
watch the
any of it.
video, but it's very funny.
That was way longer than what I thought. To be honest, I did not read the whole thing before.
Oh, see, I
Now
did. I did.
I just copy and pasted it.
You sent it to me, and I just got the bottom, and was scrolling up to try and find the top, and I was scrolling, and I was like, oh my god, this is long. This is the longest roast of all time, but I loved it. It was very funny. So, anyways, Colby, get better, bud. I
Yeah,
saw.
dude, you suck.
I
Being a
s-
+2 handicap and
yeah,
trying to get in the mid am is just bad.
not good enough. Gonna need to get a
Yeah.
little. Gonna need to fix that swing a little bit. We should put his swing and my swing side by side, and it just to make me feel like an asshole.
We should start doing that. We should have people just send us their swing, and we'll just use Grok to roast it because we're terrible at this. But
I like it. Hope we probably a little shorter version. Actually, I didn't actually mind that longer version.
yeah,
I thought it was all
I
funny.
could always prompt Grok just to just shorten it up a little bit.
Well, I think what it did is I think it just took every part of like the golf swing and it just wrote a paragraph about it because it started with the stance, then with the backswing, then it was at the top, and then it was at the follow through, and then yeah. So I think that's what it did. I liked it. It was funny. All
Damn,
right,
Grok.
all right. Should we be done?
We could be done. We can keep it a short one today.
All right. Yeah, I mean we did our complaining. We learned things about golf today.
We did. Thank you, Dan. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you Google.com. They taught us some rules today, so that was good.
Mhm.
Yeah, people don't need to listen to us complain for an hour. Like 40 minutes is plenty, isn't it?
But we appreciate everyone hanging out, listening to
Yeah,
us about nothing.
we had fun. Yeah. You know what they say? If you have fun, and the audience has fun, then that's all that matters.
100%.
So
Anyway, we can go ahead and
let's
wrap this up
let's
tonight.
wrap it up. Yeah.
We appreciate all you guys hanging out with us tonight. A lot of fun. Next week, we may or may not bitch ball or golf game again.
Yeah.
But real soon, competition season is heating up. I got men's league starting in a couple weeks.
Nice.
We got some tournaments starting. I may or may not be playing in a qualifier round on May 13th. Haven't 100% decided on that.
Don't you have to decide on that soon?
Yeah, real soon. I took the day off work, and I need to just do it or just shit or get off the pot.
Yeah. You got to decide really soon.
Yeah.
What's the closing day for that? The 4th or the 5th? Something like
Yeah,
that.
I have not looked, so I should probably really get on that if I'm doing it.
Yeah, you should. Anyways.
But anyway, again, thanks everybody. We appreciate it. Make sure you follow us on X, subscribe on YouTube, like, comment, share. It's all good for the algorithm. It helps us get across and helps us build our community of amateur golfers.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes. And we will be back next week, same time, Thursday, Central Normal Time. Hopefully we have better news about our golf games then.
Maybe.